These settings are the difference between finding 3 winners a day and 30. Let's make tactical arbitrage actually work for you. If you're tired of wasting time guessing what to source and want to make tactical arbitrage actually work for you, this channel is for you. Today, I'll be walking you through the exact setup on the back end of tactical arbitrage that will make it run like a well-oiled machine. So that way we can spend less time scanning and more time actually making profit. Let's dive in and get your setup running like a pro. I am Cris. Welcome to my channel, Cris Lives Online.
This video is sponsored by Tactical Arbitrage.
So we are currently on the homepage of Tactical Arbitrage. If yours looks different than mine, it's probably because you're either in TA2, which you will see right here will be a Tactical Arbitrage. You'll see a number 2 in the address bar, or you are in the previous user interface. So you can scroll down, and on the very, very bottom right, you can toggle the new UI on or off. I prefer to use the old version of TA, which is this, but I think a lot of people are on the new UI, so I'll just show the settings on here. The settings work the same on TA1, regardless of which user interface you use. We're going to go to settings on the very bottom left, and we click on settings one more time. Starting from the very top left, we go to keys. This first section does not apply to most sellers in the US. This applies to European Union countries. And then we have other keys right here on the bottom. For other keys, this is where you would enter your Tactical Bucket license key if you are a Tactical Bucket subscriber. The next one, we're going to skip notifications because this is actually the coolest thing that I do, and it's my favorite, so I'll cover that last. We're going to go to searching, which is the third tab at this point. And we have the first section is the cache. This is basically scanning with the cache being enabled. This is basically scanning not just live data. It's basically pulling from all the searches that have happened in TA for this during this period of time. I prefer to run it on one day, but I keep my searches very small and targeted. If you like to run the whole website or the whole category, I would suggest that you expand yours to maybe 5 to 10 days. One thing to keep in mind that if it's live, a live search will take a lot longer than one that's running from the cache, because a live search is basically going and pulling every single piece of data live, where the cached ones are going to be pulling from all the scans that have been happening. If you do like a search with a cache from 2, 3, 4, 10 days, I would suggest when the search results are done to go update your search, so it can actually refresh all the data. Amazon flips can only be done live. That's just unless you want to maybe build some sort of database of potential flips. For product reverse searches are notoriously slow. So because it has to hit so many websites, right? You have one Amazon ASIN and it has to go look at each ASIN over 500 websites inside Tactical Arbitrage. So the product reverse searches are a lot slower. So in that case, to speed them up, it's definitely advisable to use a more extended period of time. A library search, I don't do anything library. And for wholesale, it depends. I think 10 days is great. And then once we made these changes, we're going to go in here and click save. So once we save, it'll tell you that settings saved successfully. Next, we're going to move on to search filters. So a search filters, this is what will make or break a lot of searches and a lot of sellers. So from the top, we are in the US. You can change your fulfillment type from FBA to FBM. It's going to basically change the calculations in TA as far as profits. I would suggest that you actually, if you do an FBM search, as soon as you get it done, just go back and change to fulfillment by FBA, because it does change the numbers. So you don't want to think that you're not finding things, but maybe you're on FBM with the wrong settings. Stop searches after you can set a set amount of hours to stop your searches. I let mine run till they're done, or the maximum 60 hours. Match quality. This is a big talk about matches and mismatches. I actually love mismatches. Mismatches give me not just one product, they give me basically two potential products. So to me, the match quality and mismatch prevention are non-factors. And I actually run mine on top confidence match as good and other matches as great. There's also the excellent setting right here for basically to get almost no mismatches, but I do not, I want to see more products rather than less. And I welcome mismatches with open arms. Domain search sets. This basically would limit the domains that you're sourcing. Maybe if you have a VA using it and you don't want the VA to search certain websites, you can go and disable them here. For example, let's say I don't want them to search one sale and I don't want them to search, I don't know, lots. You can deselect those and then, you can deselect them, click out, and should be able to click save. Make sure you click save at the bottom. So that is basically going to remove those two websites from showing up under the original, the product search right here. Next, we are going to go into exclusions, and this is one of my favorite sections of the settings because we can exclude things right here globally to actually not run into any past issues or things that we don't want to see. So as far as search categories, you can exclude categories. So for me, everything that is checked here is excluded. So if it's checked in this exclusion section, that means it's excluded. So for me, I don't want to see books or software. You can check those and save, or whatever categories you don't want to play with. Any brands to exclude. The brand exclusion manager, mine is absolutely full. So I have a ton of brands excluded in here. Brands that I have absolutely, I want nothing to do with, for either they went restricted or there's the brand only selling, or it's maybe I was gated, maybe the brand was taken down. Lots of reasons. Brands that you received IP complaints on that you no longer want to sell. It would be a great place to add them right here, the brand exclusion manager. And you can actually do it manually. For example, you click on it and tag the brand name. Let's say I want, I don't know, let's say brand Estee Lauder, for example, and then click enter, and it's going to be added at the very bottom. And then we're going to click save here. We're going to click proceed. And then it's if the save button on the very bottom right becomes bright yellow, that means you need to save that there too. Add ASINs to exclude. Sometimes there's ASINs that you don't want to sell. You can actually exclude them right here. And you can also do it from the actual search itself. So when you're in the middle of the search, you can exclude a brand by clicking this exclude right here. During the search, you click exclude and then proceed. And this brand is now added to that list of exclusions. Also, you can exclude individual ASINs. And in this case, it would be the next section that we will cover right here, the ASIN exclusion manager. You can go right here and click exclude. So it's basically going to exclude that ASIN. That is a funky ASIN. That's an old, I guess, a book one. But like this, for example, you can click exclude. And then once you do that, it will be added to your list of excluded ASINs right here. I don't do that much. I usually just go by brand, but lately with so many gatings by ASIN instead of the entire brand, it's really coming in handy. Next, we have seller IDs to exclude, and this is a pretty big one. There are some sellers that I exclude because I want nothing to do with them. They are brand management firms for the most part. And for those they're known to issue IP claims and create all sorts of other issues. So I want nothing to do with them. The seller ID exclusion manager, you can basically pull any seller ID. These are some big guys. I have Front Row and Pattern and Carbon Beauty in here and had some others, but I want nothing to do with any listings that they are on. So you can add that in here. Many of you might be tempted to add Amazon to this seller ID exclusion list. I would strongly suggest not to, because you will lose so many good ASINs, and Amazon being on a listing is not a deal breaker. Amazon, maybe they're on the listing with one unit that they found in the warehouse. Maybe they're on the listing in and out. Maybe, who knows? So do not exclude Amazon as a competitor. Any keywords to exclude. The keyword exclusion manager for me, I have heels, high heels. That's basically everything that I like to wear is excluded. These are all high return things that I don't want to mess with. So for me, I don't even want to see them in my searches. So I added those and then save. And then we're going to the last part of the exclusions, which is a very big one for me. It's the exclusions of reverse search domains. So the domains that we're excluding going to be from the reverse search right here. We click on reverse search and then again, reverse search. The domains are going to all be excluded from right here. So there's a difference between a product search and a reverse search. A product search is where you start with the website. So let's say we are searching Walmart for TA to find matches on Amazon. The reverse search, we do it the other way around. It flip that around. We start with a list of ASINs from Amazon and we set TA to find them out in the wild. So the way it does that is basically by scanning through all of the domains in tactical arbitrage. Well, this is where we are hiding things because we don't want TA to waste its time scanning 600 websites. We can just reduce the amount of websites to the ones that we actually want to buy from, right? So this is what we do right here in reverse search domains. So you click on the domain exclusion manager, and as you can see, I have a lot excluded. From my reverse search, there's only 227 websites available out of the, I don't know, 500 that I have in tactical arbitrage. So the way we do this is we basically scroll in this section, and remember, you check it if you want to exclude it. So we're basically scrolling through and we're checking the websites that we either don't trust, don't like, don't want, maybe we're not buying from there, they're not our category, lots of things, right? That could be. But as you can see, I have so many exclusions that I have more websites excluded than actually included. So this will actually greatly speed up my reverse searches. So we're going to exclude whatever you want. So if you want to exclude this, you're going to click it and you're going to basically save. And then just remember to also save at the very bottom. Rank filters are not something that I use. I prefer to set my searches a different way, but if you have different limits when it comes to ranking certain categories, this would be a place to do it. For a competitor analysis, I just have it set to 2. In units, you have pounds versus kilograms. So this is basically the exclusion manager. Now we're going to the next section, which is something a lot of people don't know about, and it's giving you guys false profits. And that's going to be the price adjustment section right here. So the price adjustment section is where we can do a few different things. You can set up any your prep and ship and profit and ROI. But what the main thing that we're going to do is work on these set discounts. So at the top, you have these 2 sections right here. And for everyone that's never done anything with this, yours are probably going to be toggled on. So you click on set discounts. And what we see in here is we have a lot of pre-filled information. You have, sometimes you have discounts pre-filled, there's cashback, there's gift cards. All of these are applying. For example, if you're scanning Ace Hardware, it's applying. If your toggle is on, it's basically applying all of these discounts. So even though the price might be $30, it might show it to you as being 21 after it applies all of these discounts that you might not actually have access to. So in this section, it's really important to come right here and click clear all, remove, and then save. Then we're going to go to select cashback and gift card services. We're going to click select. And if you've never done this before, yours are probably all toggled on. So if yours are all blue like this, make sure to go in and toggle them off. You can make your own decision if there's any cashback or gift cards that you want to use or include. I want to make these decisions on my own and apply my own cashback and gift cards and the way I see fit. So I don't want this to affect my pricing. These will make not profitable items show up as profitable because they're applying all of these discounts on the back end. So make sure you turn them all off and then click save. Then you have the prep and ship section. We're doing US cost to prep of a standard product. anything for oversize, any cost to actually create bundles. You cannot go by number of units. You basically just need to estimate a cost. And then the cost to ship to Amazon. For me, I have it at 1 because I like to overestimate a bit. My shipments are rather large. So for me, the cost is usually, last week we did an optimized shipment that was 14 cents per unit to ship inbound. But if you do 1 box or maybe 2 boxes and you send them not optimized, the cost could be $1 or sometimes even more. For profit and ROI, I generally use the 30-day price. I recently changed this because it's Q4 and things fly, right? So I don't care what price he was selling at in September or October, whatever month this is. I care to know what's happening right now because maybe the price just jumped. So I want to know at this point in time in mid-November, I don't care about average pricing. I care about the price right now. So I have it at buy box price. And then the rest of it is just nothing that we need to worry about. So at the very bottom, once you make changes, make sure you click this yellow save. So it makes your changes take effect. Next, we have viewing limits. The viewing limits are basically generally they're related to the actual setup. So for me, the viewing limits is the show number of lines on the view results by default is 50. So this is going to basically show me 50 right here. You can also change these during a search. When I have a small search with only have a few results, I usually look at 10. When I have a larger search or a larger amount of results, I will go to 50 so I can delete them bulk as much as possible. Then we have cropping product titles, cell width, and all of that. These numbers are related to the way this data shows. So I have my columns set up in a certain way that make sense for me. So if you make some changes here, for example, in the product title. So if we change this to crop the product titles, let's say we crop them to 60 characters and then save, what's going to happen when we go to the view data right here? I don't know if it's taken effect yet. Let's refresh this. You will see that my titles they're actually being shortened, see, versus the way they were the full title before. Same with the cell width. If you have a smaller screen or maybe I have a very wide screen, very large, it's large and wide. So if you have a smaller screen, it would make sense to maybe change these to maybe make the columns a little bit smaller so you can see more on the actual page. So for me, I don't like to crop my titles or anything like that. The other thing to note here is the show days range in history chart by default. This time of the year, I have 365 and then save. So the days range in history chart refer to this history chart right here, which is the PA's version of Keepa. It's not Keepa, it's the TA basically version of sales rank and price. There's a new feature that a lot of people don't have. It's never turned on automatically, which it should be. It's this gray one, and the gray one, it shows the new sellers. This is something that I asked for a while. They finally added about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and it's fantastic. I just wish it was on for everyone because a lot of people don't know about it and don't know to turn it on. So as you can see the graph right here, it's showing 365 days, which is what I have set up right here. Because this time of the year, things are different. I don't care what it did in the last 3 months. I care what it did this time last year. So, and you can also change the graph right here. You can make changes right here. So any changes you make here, you can change it, refresh your data page, see if you like it, and then just once you have the final version, just click save. Under account, this is where you basically have, you see my profile picture is Buddy, my German Shepherd. It's one of my 2 dogs. You can update your billing right here, change your membership or factory reset, which I don't suggest you do. If you have any problems, reach out to the guys at 3 Calls, and you can also reach out to me. So next we're going to go to the most impactful part of this video, and it's going to be the notification section. This is what makes TA the most, or well, one of the things that make TA the most invaluable service, in my opinion. So the notifications, you're going to put an email at the top. You don't have to enter a phone number. And then we're basically going to set up how we want to get notifications from Tactical Arbitrage. And you will want to have your email in there for sure. And I will tell you why in a minute. So you can turn on this toggle to get notified when a scan is complete by email. My TA is always open, and I actually have mine right here to use sound notifications. So it basically, because the TA tab is always open in my browser, it just dings and I hear it on my computer when a search is over. You can also get notified by SMS if you get when a search is over. I don't care for that. You can mute your notifications during certain times of the day. Just make sure you pick the correct time zone. The other thing that you can do at the bottom, for those of you that have virtual assistants, this could come in handy. Every time a search is over, you and them could get an email with the actual search results attached. So for example, if you get a search is over at 2 a.m. and you're sleeping, your VA in the Philippines is in the middle of their workday, and they would get it, go through the results, and actually have leads for you to buy first thing in the morning. So in order for that to happen, you would have to add their email up here. Also, you can have more than one email. So it can be 1, 2, 3, however many email addresses you need right here. The time limit notifications, this is not something that we really have any use for. Notify if a scan is working more than whatever, and then if less than 50% of time limit is remaining, I actually don't even have that. I have no need for that. So next we're going to go to the biggest thing. And in order to be able to use this, which is the auto updates, you're going to have your email in here. So remember to do that. So we're going to click to the updates. I'll save the best for last. So here's what the updates are. We're going to make Tactical Arbitrage when we go through the search and we want to save things. We have the heart right there. You click the heart and you click save. And then you can choose the folder that you want to save things in, or you can create a new folder by clicking this green plus sign. And then you can save. This saves this product in Tactical Arbitrage for you to review later. Well, here's where the magic happens. We can set it up to where we can have Tactical Arbitrage automatically update all of the saved products. So you save it to the folders, to your saved folders, and then we're going to tell TA now what and when and how to update. So the first thing we do is we need to obviously enable the auto updates right here, which is the first toggle. Then we're going to enable email notifications. You want to get an email when the update is done. And it's fantastic. I get an email once or twice a day, and it's basically a shopping list. Here are the products that meet your criteria. Go sourcing. And the criteria for me, it's this right here. So this section right here, this is the criteria. The way I do things is a little bit different. So my criteria is I want to look at more products. If you want to make it easier for yourself, you can adjust these things a little bit. But the send notifications for products found after auto update when the ROI is over. For me, it needs to be over 4 and I have no gross profit set up. Most people want to see when the ROI is over 20% and the gross profit is, let's say, $3. So a lot of people will do something like that. You want the product to be in stock, so it's also constantly updating the stock. So you want the product to be in stock. When Amazon is out of stock, I don't care if Amazon is on the listing, in stock, out of stock, I'm like playing the same sandbox, not an issue. You can also turn on when estimated sales are greater than. I don't usually do this because when I decide to save a product, it's because I think that it's worthy. So I don't need the system to exclude products from me, right? So if I added it, it's for a reason. I knew when I saved that product, I knew what I was doing. So I want to see it regardless of this criteria. So for me, this is usually, this is usually turned off. If I save the product, I want to see it regardless of how many sales are estimated. And then the last toggle is actually pretty important, to only alert when products satisfy all of the criteria above. So if a product is now the price has gone up and it's an ROI over 20% and it makes at least $3 gross profit and it's in stock, then I want to get a notification. So that's kind of how it works for me. Then the next section is use set discounts for all safe products updates. So when we click this set discounts, it's basically going to show us this section. For me, I keep it clear. So it basically what happens is it's going to scan all of your saved folders, which, by the way, I did not cover this. You need to select the folders you want updated. Most of you don't have a staggering amount of saved items, so you can just basically select all. Just keep in mind that the maximum that you can have saved and updating is 4,000 products. So if you have more than 4,000 products saved, not going to let you is not going to allow you to select more folders than that. So just keep in mind, if you have more than 4,000 products saved, I would make different folders based on maybe the product category or where the product can be purchased, or maybe by the supplier, or different categories, and put up, kind of split the folders. So if you have 5 folders of 1,000 items each, then you can select 4 of them to hit your 4,000 limit. If you have 5,000 products in one folder, then it might not let you update. And then here, basically, based on this amount, it tells you how many times you can update per day. You can also click the question mark right here. It actually tells you for a selection over 4,000 products, the auto update will not work. And if you have between 3,000 and 4,000 products, the auto update can only be once per day. So this number will change based on the folder selected right here and the amount of products inside of them. So here's how the process works when it comes to these discounts. So you click set discounts. What's going to happen is every time TA is scanning these folders, it's going to say, I am scanning Macy's. Is there anything set for Macy's in here? So we can actually do Macy's. So if I have a 20% discount on Macy's and an 8% cashback, every time, and we save, every time the product saved at Macy's, when they do that update from Macy's, it's going to apply this discount to the results. So if you get false profits, this is one of the things that is probably happening. You have discounts and cashback and gift cards and all sorts of things set in here. So we can clear that. One other thing that you can do here, you can go to, you have the tax percent. If you want to make this super accurate, you can say at this store I'm paying sales tax, at this store I don't pay sales tax, right? Like Lego, I pay sales tax. Walmart, I don't pay sales tax. And maybe, let's say, a certain website that you usually purchase from and that there's an ongoing 20% coupon, right? You can always come in here and add that 20%, so it's accounted for when the update is happening. So you're going to save, and then just always remember to click that save at the bottom right here. But this section of Tactical Arbitrage is basically the magic juice when it comes to it's the most powerful sourcing website up there. I've been using it for 5 years. It's been my favorite the entire time. And this is one of the things that basically make it irreplaceable for me. So I hope you found this useful, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.